But my name's Arthur, and I'm a firm believer in Jesus Christ. I was born in 1951, Oceanside, California, 17 miles south of the town that I grew up in, which was San Clemente, California, just north of Camp Pendleton. I was just a normal little kid, you know. I led a blessed life. I also led a life in a home of alcoholics. My dad was heavy-handed. At some point of my life, I came to the realization he loved me, but I didn't like the way he loved me because he beat me. And early on, and I didn't know it, but my disease of addiction or my character defects came out at a very, very young age. I learned how to lie. And I did that out of survival. I found when I lied, and I lied good and got away with it, I didn't get whooped. I didn't get beat down. The only time I got any love from Dad was when I came home with a black eye, and he said, "Well, who won?" And I said, "I did." And he wrapped his arms around and said, "That's my baby boy." But he never told me he loved me. I knew my mom loved me, but me and my brother were kind of a handful. I have a younger sibling, 3 years younger than me, and I didn't like him either. And then there's another character defect. Seemed like I was just a little bit better than him in whatever we did. I swam. I was 3 seconds off qualifying for Olympic trials. I was a lifeguard, making $12 an hour in 1967. I was a good surfer. I was sponsored by the time I was 19. I had a good life. But with all those things that were good to me, it developed an ego. It developed a Arthur that was selfish and self-centered. And I had no idea throughout my entire life. I graduated in 2007 from high school, went to college, was running through the parking lot with my surfboard. I drank in high school. My first alcoholic drink was when I was 8. My first blackout drunk was when I was 14. I drank all the way through high school. I remember those times waking up in the morning with my car in the front yard, wondering how in the world did it get there. I don't know if you can relate to that, but that was part of my story. So I'm running through the parking lot of Saddleback College, and a guy yelled at me, he said, "You going surfing?" I said, "Yeah, it's going off." He said, "Well, hey, come here." And I'm in a dead run. "What?" "Let's get loaded." And I stopped in my tracks, and I thought, you know, I've never done that. I think I'll try it. So I got in his van, we smoked some Afghani black Primo that was laced with opium, and I got so baked. It's a 10-minute drive from the college to the beach. It took me 45 minutes. The surf was going off. I surfed for 4 hours. And when I got out of the water, I turned around and I contemplated and I thought about it. I go, wow, I know what I'm going to do the rest of my life. I'm going to get loaded. I'm going to surf. That was when I was 19. My life turned around and became absolutely 100% miserable when I was 60. It's 41 years of using every day. The only time that I was clean is when I had the flu and I couldn't get out of bed to get something to get me high. The rest of the time, I got loaded. At this point, I don't have a God. I think maybe, but I don't know. When I went up to Calvary Chapel with Chuck Smith, when I was 17 years old, heard a sermon, and he made an altar call, and all the kids that went up there from San Clemente High all went up there and accepted the Lord into their life. I don't know if that had anything to do with my salvation then or not, because I didn't understand who Jesus was. I had no unearthly idea what he did to carry the sins of the world. I didn't know. Then I turned around and I walked out the doors of that church, and I never looked back. I never went back. I never thought about it. Didn't want to know about it. And so I shunned God. I knew there was a God. You can't live in that ocean and not think that vastness didn't come from something truly Allah inspired. So I knew there was a God. But the God that I knew was convicting. He knew I was Satan's child, and he knew that he didn't have nothing to do with me. But I didn't know that. I'm just partying. I'm creating a service for all the Lodies in the whole area. And I was good at it. And I was successful at it. And so Satan didn't have to worry about me. He knew who I was. He knew what it was all about. So he didn't have to worry about me. Much like he has to worry now. He has to worry every day. I never realized that I was an addict my entire life. Like I said, I always thought that I could quit if I wanted to. I just didn't want to. The point that brought me into recovery were the police. I got busted for possession and under the influence. The possession charge was dropped because they didn't have enough to charge me with. But they charged me with the under the influence, and they gave me 18 months probation, and they gave me a court-appointed program that I had to go once a week for 2 hours a week. And even at that, I was still getting loaded. It was at this point that I realized that I had a problem, because I knew I needed to quit or I was going to go to jail. They said if you test dirty, you're going to go for 90 days. And if you test after that in the 18-month probationary period, you're going to go to jail for 3 years. No questions asked. Was that enough for me to make a conscious decision to quit? No. I knew I wanted to. I just came to the realization at that point, after 41 years of using, that I could not quit. The disease of addiction had grabbed me, and I didn't have a choice then.